violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, in school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into the video.
We begin with breaking news. An arrest has been made in the shooting that happened at City Place in Doral.
Wow. Look at all these women who have their phones out in front of this Hombrito super gremlin shooting somebody. She's literally filming this super gremlin shooting somebody. And I told you guys, man, I got you on the Hombrito stories too. Because they're everywhere too, man.
Late Sunday night, police say 32-year-old Alex Arnaud from Homestead was the one who pulled out the gun and fired. Luckily, no one was wounded. Arnaud is charged with attempted felony murder, discharging a firearm in public, and resisting an officer without violence. That last charge stems from Arnaud trying to run from police when they arrived at his house. Police say he ran through the garage and back into the home. Once in custody, we're told Arnaud refused to make any statements to police.
And we do have a break in the case after a man was caught on camera pulling out a gun, opening fire in a parking garage. This all took place at City Place in Doral.
Police have now made an arrest, and Local 10 News reporter Annalise Garcia is live outside the jail in West Miami-Dade.
And tell us about the suspect who's in custody now, Annalise.
Yeah, Christy Janice, he actually just appeared in front of a judge minutes ago. The judge did want to see him before he was released because he has posted his bond. Let's take you to that video. Again, this was just minutes ago.
Wow. This guy got a bond. A man who literally shot at somebody. In a parking lot on camera. Everybody saw it. Multiple angles. Gets a bond. And we got brothers, sisters from the black and brown community who still don't believe this is the best country in the world. You can literally shoot at somebody and get a bond.
This is Alex Arnaud in court. The judge ordered him to stay away from the victim and Doral City Place. This man was arrested last night after witnesses helped detectives locate him.
32-year-old Alex Arnaud arrested by Doral police for allegedly firing a gun after a fight broke out at the City Place Doral parking garage.
He could have hit that other man in the head.
Investigators were able to...
He could have literally hit the other man in the head that's climbing down the stairs.
A fight broke out at the City Place Doral parking garage. Investigators were able to figure out the license plate number to the black Tesla the shooter was driving.
We ran the tag. We checked the tag, find out that the car belonged to a family member. And then just good police work started connecting the dots.
Police tracked Arnaud to a house in Homestead. When officers arrived, they said he tried to get away.
Because he was in the garage when we saw him. He tried to make a run for it, but he couldn't go anywhere. The house was surrounded by police officers.
Wow. So this guy tries to resist arrest, runs from police, and he still gets a bond. Wouldn't that be considered a flight risk? He still gets a bond? And y'all are saying we're being discriminated against? Man, it's finna get worse. If this guy is getting a bond in Miami, man, it's finna get worse.
The arrest report explains what happened before shots were fired. The fight started when a young woman turned down several advances from a man at one of the restaurants inside City Place Doral. Once it moved to the garage, things escalated quickly. Arnaud allegedly fired a gun, but luckily no one was struck by bullets.
So this man got mad because he got denied. These hyper emotional males.
Now, again, the suspect has posted bond and he's already faced a judge, so he can be released at any minute now. Detectives do say that.
Well, if you're in Miami, just understand that there's another super gremlin back out on the streets.
This investigation is still ongoing, so there could be more arrests. If you know anything at all, you are urged to call Crime Stoppers. That number is 305-471-TIPS. I'm live in West Miami-Dade. Annalise Garcia, Local 10 News.
A patient attacked a security guard at Health Park Medical Center, biting off the tip of his finger. We've blurred it out for you because the poor guy is now missing part of his ring finger. Thanks for watching NBC2. I'm Kelly Burns.
And I'm Peter Bush.
What the heck? Are we on an episode of Walking Dead? And when I use the frame super gremlin, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. These are soulless, blood-sucking, bloodthirsty super gremlins that are out on these streets doing their thing.
Deputies say Dylan Medoyor is the one who chomped down on the security guard. You're looking at his mugshot. The police report says he also headbutted another guard.
Wow. Sheesh. That's crazy, bro.
NBC2's Megan Myers is live at Health Park Hospital tonight, walking us through this wild attack.
Well, deputies say all of this started when Dylan Medoyor got angry and started being aggressive towards his nurse, who was just trying to help him. Things escalated from there.
You have someone that's trying to render aid, trying to help a person, and this person has no regard for their safety or their life.
Medoyor wouldn't calm down.
This is why you can't help these super gremlins, man. This is why you can't help them. Imagine that. You're trying to help this guy, give him aid, and he bites your finger off.
So his nurse called in 2 security guards to help. Deputies say Medoyor headbutted one of them, and the other,
While trying to restrain him, he bites a part of the finger off.
We blurred this photo of what the guard's hand looks like, missing the top of a finger.
That's crazy. Why someone would even do that.
A lot of pain and a lot of blood.
He knew it was a man's finger, but he still ate it because he's a gremlin. I don't think y'all are listening to what Kodak Black was saying when he made that song Super Gremlin. I don't think y'all are listening.
The guy was doing his job, and, you know, like, he wants to go home to his family. He doesn't want to go home with his family and be injured.
Medoyor is now facing felony battery charges.
This finger-biting felon bit off more than he can chew, and he's getting a taste of justice.
In Lee County, Megan Myers.
He's getting a taste of justice. You know, I admire the officers' adamance, if you will, but this dude's gonna be back out on the street. Let's keep it a buck. If we got a guy who is shooting in a parking deck, could have killed multiple people, could have killed a random person who was sitting in their car. If this guy gets a bond, man, this finger biting stuff is gonna get thrown out.
Bit off more than he can chew, and he's getting a taste of justice.
In Lee County, Megan Myers, NBC2.
He's getting a taste of justice.
Literally. A hospital security guard is recovering tonight after a man bit the tip of his finger off. Happened at Health Park Medical Center. Dylan Medoyor is in the Lee County Jail tonight. And new at 7, our Megan Myers gets more on how a patient turned accused criminal. Megan.
Deputies say first, Dylan Medoyor got aggressive with his Health Park nurse. Then things escalated.
You have someone that's trying to render aid, trying to help a person, and this person has no regard for their safety or their life.
Medoyor wouldn't calm down, so his nurse called in 2 security guards to help. Deputies say Medoyor headbutted one of them, and the other,
While trying to restrain him, he bites a part of the finger off.
And we're also following some breaking news. This coming to us out of North Miami.
Police investigating a drive-by shooting. Local 10's Janine Stanwood live with the latest on this developing story. Janine.
This is a quiet residential area where shots have been fired. I'll step out of the way. You can see that this area has been blocked off by police. This is Northwest 11th Avenue and 131st Street. You can also see evidence markers on the ground, although it's not clear what they are marking. And just down 11th Avenue, you can see that police are over there speaking to people. Now, police are telling us they're getting conflicting information from witnesses. Some are saying a shooter stepped out of the car and shot the victim. Others say it was from a moving vehicle. So either way, police have some investigating to do.
Wow, so these shootings are happening everywhere, man. In Miami, it's going off. And I just left Miami a couple weeks ago. You know, thank God we didn't run into any gunfire. But the first time that I went to Miami, they shot up the Waffle House. So under the liberal leadership in Miami, you can see what's going down. It's a hellhole.
We're told that the victim has been grazed by a bullet, so thankfully non-life-threatening injuries. This is a developing story here, and as soon as we get more information, we'll let you know. We're in North Miami. I'm Janine Stanwood, Local 10 News.
MLK Day. Any motorcycles or ATV riders think it's fun to disrupt traffic on MLK Day? Law enforcement wants you to think again.
Yeah, Miami-Dade Police and the Florida Highway Patrol are ready to turn off the ignition to this unsafe ride. Their joint effort to keep communities safe is in anticipation of the Wheels Up, Guns Down ride. Authorities want everyone to remember that the holiday is about honoring Martin Luther King Jr.
Lord have mercy. So we got MLK Day coming up, and these super gremlins, yes, I'm calling these bikers, these off-roaders, super gremlins, because when you go to Miami, and specifically Miami Beach, you see how these dudes move. These dudes will run you over with their bikes and then blame it on you. I told this story before, but when I was out in Miami the last time before this just recent time that I went, I was standing in line about to go into this seafood place, and this super gremlin's riding his bike, and it's not a motorized bike, it's you know, a pedal bike, and he hits this woman while doing a wheelie. He's doing a wheelie and runs straight into this woman, at least going like 10, 15, maybe even 20 miles per hour. Smacks her. I'm talking about depletes her. And then he had the nerve to say, oh, well, that's why you shouldn't be drinking during the day. It was 6 p.m. Well past happy hour. Well past, work hours. I mean, these super gremlins have no accountability. They take no accountability. And this, wheelies up, guns down, only causes more disruption. That's why they're talking about doing these freaking bike parks in Miami and all this kind of stuff. Like, you're just gonna have the bike parks getting shot up, because this is how these super gremlins operate. Wherever they go, they're destroying something, bro.
A great man in Martin Luther King is why this weekend exists. He went out and preached equality, unity, and wanted everyone to be together. This is not how he wanted to be honored.
And here's a game plan for Monday. Per authorities, overhead choppers and airplanes will be monitoring the roads, and Florida Highway Patrol will be blocking entry and exit points on the highways to prevent riders from getting access.
Still ahead on CBS 4 News.
100 staying safe. That's the key message from law enforcement agencies across South Florida ahead of the annual Martin Luther King Jr. Wheels Up, Guns Down ride, when hundreds of ATVs and dirt bike riders take to the streets. CBS 4's Joan Murray is live at the Broward Sheriff's Office with more on what they had to say ahead of Monday's race. Joan?
Good afternoon, Maribel. Well, yeah, it's becoming an annual event. Law enforcement getting together here to say they are not going to put up with this disruption on the highway. Now, we have seen in recent years it's gotten a little bit better, but they're doubling down with the message they will not tolerate any more shenanigans on the highway.
We will outnumber the riders.
Wow. So they are directly going to war with these wheels up, gun down riders. And these guys, they don't give a flying flip about putting the guns down. If they would stop shooting people. If they would stop sliding on people. These super gremlins do not care about no guns down. It's just an excuse to get on the road and act a fool and drive recklessly, speed, and wreak havoc in the streets. It's an excuse for anarchy. It's an excuse to try and bombard the police department and bombard the streets with off-road bikers or whatnot who are trying to virtue signal through riding dirt bikes through the street.
As we always do.
A stern warning from South Florida law enforcement. They will not tolerate any of this on Monday on the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Wheelies.
Look at these fools driving on the wrong side of the road. Dude. And if you dare honk your horn or say something to it, they'll shoot you in the face.
Blocking, riding against traffic and on the sidewalks. What's become an annual problem as ATV and dirt bike riders take part in the Wheels Up, Guns Down event.
If you find yourself in traffic while these daredevils and reckless individuals are driving by, we want you to come to a halt. We want you to pull off to the side of the road and let us do our job. You may not see us, you may not hear us, but we are there. We are monitoring, we are tracking, we are strategically putting things together to make sure that we can take these individuals in custody safely without exposing you to any other or greater harm.
Overhead choppers and airplanes will be monitoring the roads. Florida Highway Patrol will be blocking entry and exit points on the highway to prevent riders from getting access. Down the road, law enforcement is hoping the Florida legislature will pass a law that makes it a crime to cause a disruption on the road.
No longer just a traffic infraction. That gives law enforcement a little bit more power. It also gives us the ability in the racing statute to impound vehicles to where they don't get them back.
That is the biggest fear, is really people could lose their lives doing this.
So there's great hope that this will become law. The legislature just went into session this week. Right now, if you get stopped for doing one of these wheelies or a disruption on the highway, it's just a traffic infraction and you face a hefty fine over $1,000. But this law would make it a criminal offense, a whole new level. Reporting near Fort Lauderdale, Joan Murray, CBS 4 News.
So 7 scores of reckless riders are expected on South Florida streets again this year during the upcoming holiday, and law enforcement is getting street ready.
So guys, this was in 2020. These dudes have been terrorizing the streets every year on MLK Day for a long time.
7 News reporter Andrew Scheinthal is near Fort Lauderdale with just what they are doing to manage that. Andrew?
And Craig, it's roads just like West Broward Boulevard behind me that a lot of these riders like to race down. That's why law enforcement agencies across South Florida came together today to try to bring an end to an event called Wheels Up, Guns Down.
They can't stop us, there's too many of us.
They weave, they race, and they create chaos.
You hear what they said. They can't stop us, it's too many of us. I'm telling you right now, these dudes do not care about putting any guns down. They probably got guns on them.
Choosing to spend the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday by riding dirt bikes, ATVs, and other illegal vehicles through the streets of South Florida.
I came all the way down from Kentucky. I come to represent.
They call the ride Wheels Up, Guns Down, trying to end gun violence. But it isn't a sanctioned holiday event, and law enforcement agencies across South Florida are ready to hand out tickets and make arrests.
No one will hijack this holiday.
From Broward County down to Miami-Dade, police are working together to try and stop riders who participate. In years past, they've raced down freeways and traveled the wrong way down one-way roads.
What we really want to avoid is having to go to some family and tell them that their loved one is either critically injured or dead.
Officers are trying to get in front of the problem, stationing them.
This is scary. Imagine you sitting in traffic and you got 50 super gremlins riding on illegal, unsanctioned vehicles on the highway. All it takes is somebody to pull out in front of them. Or even if they hit you, they'll get mad at you. And then they're going straight to demon time.
Themselves at sites riders have gathered at in the past to try and navigate traffic.
We will have units in place, deputy sheriffs, police officers, and troopers at those locations.
But with the holiday just days away, they're expecting to see an increase of illegal road activity, and they're asking commuters to be vigilant.
We're just out here trying to ride and have fun. We bought that bike life and that's it.
Officers also add, if you're in your car and find yourself surrounded by some of these riders, come to a complete stop, wait for them to pass, and then you should carry on with your drive. We're live near Fort Lauderdale. I'm Andrew Scheinthal, 7 News.
Gang violence and other kind of violence. So it is what it is.